You already know the idea. You have heard it your entire life. Somewhere along the way, probably in childhood, someone told you that you have a guardian angel watching over you, and you accepted it. It became part of your spiritual background, a comforting thought you carried without ever really examining it. A presence, a protector, a divine safety net deployed the moment you took your first breath. That is what most people believe, and most people never question it. But what if the assignment did not begin at your birth? What if the angel who has been with you, the one who has moved through the invisible layer of reality that overlaps with everything you see and touch, was not assigned to you as a reaction to your arrival in this world, but as a preparation for it? What if the order was given not in a hospital room or a delivery ward, but in the courts of eternity, before your body was formed, before your name existed in any human record, before the thread of your life had even been woven into time? Because that is exactly what the scriptures reveal, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The guardian angel assigned to you is not a comfort assigned after the fact. It is a prophetic deployment, a mission authorized before you were born, connected to a destiny that was written before the foundations of the world were laid. To understand why this matters, you have to sit for a moment with what God told Jeremiah. In Jeremiah chapter 1, before the prophet speaks a single word of his calling, before he protests his youth or his inadequacy, God says something that should stop every reader cold. He says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations." Read that slowly. Before formation, before birth, already known, already consecrated, already appointed. God is not reacting to Jeremiah's existence. He is revealing that Jeremiah's existence was itself the unfolding of a plan that had already been settled in the heavenly realm. The life came after the assignment, not before it. And this is not a principle reserved for prophets or special cases. This is how the eternal God, who exists outside of time, always operates. He does not improvise destinies. He deploys them. Now bring into this picture the truth that Hebrews chapter 1 reveals about angels. The writer asks, "What are angels?" And the answer is not what most people expect. They are not simply divine bodyguards or messengers on standby. The text says they are ministering spirits sent out to serve for the sake of those who are to inherit salvation. That word "sent" is critical. In the original Greek, it carries the weight of a formal commission, a deliberate dispatch, a specific assignment given with intention and authority. Angels are not wandering through the spiritual realm hoping to be useful. They are sent, and they are sent to serve those who are to inherit salvation, which means the sending is ordered around the inheritance, around the destiny, around the life that God has already seen and already mapped. If God knew Jeremiah before he was formed, and if angels are dispatched to serve those whose salvation and destiny are already established in God's eternal knowledge, then the assignment of your angel was not a decision made at your birth. It was a decision made in light of everything God already knew about you before you existed. This changes everything about how you understand the angelic presence in your life. You have probably felt it at moments you could not explain. The time a situation should have gone catastrophically wrong and somehow did not. The decision you almost made that was interrupted at the last second by something you could not name, a hesitation, a turn of events, an unexpected obstacle that felt like an inconvenience but saved you from something you never saw coming. The night you were at the edge of something dark and a thought crossed your mind that redirected you. A verse you had not recalled in years, a memory of a voice that steadied you. You attributed those moments to coincidence or to your own instincts, or simply to good fortune. But what the scriptures reveal is that the architecture of protection around your life is not random. It is ordered, and it was ordered before you arrived. The book of Daniel tears the curtain back even further. In Daniel chapter 10, the prophet has been fasting and praying for 21 days, standing on the banks of the Tigris River, desperate for understanding. And then an angelic being appears to him and delivers one of the most startling pieces of information in all of Scripture. He tells Daniel that from the first day Daniel set his heart to understand and humbled himself before God, his words were heard. But the messenger was delayed. He was withstood by the prince of the kingdom of Persia, a territorial spiritual being of enormous power, for 21 days. And he only got through because Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help him. Let that settle in. A heavenly messenger, dispatched in direct response to prayer, fought a 21-day battle in the invisible realm before he could reach Daniel. There is an entire layer of reality operating around you that you cannot see with your physical eyes, a dimension of conflict and commission, of assignment and opposition, where battles are fought over the trajectories of human lives. And your life is inside that battle. Your destiny is being contended for, and your angel is in it. What this passage in Daniel chapter 10 also reveals is that angelic assignments are tied to more than just physical protection. They are tied to revelation, to the unlocking of understanding, to the delivery of truth that would otherwise remain hidden. The messenger was not coming to rescue Daniel from a physical danger. He was coming to help him understand what was written in the book of truth, a prophetic framework that would shape Daniel's comprehension of history and eternity. Your guardian angel is not merely a shield. It is also, in some dimension, a carrier of the things God intends to reveal to you, a divine participant in the unfolding of the understanding that belongs to your portion. When you pursue God with the kind of desperate, sustained hunger that Daniel showed, those 21 days of fasting and seeking, you are not just engaging in a personal spiritual discipline. You are triggering a heavenly response. You are activating the mission of a messenger. In Matthew chapter 18, Jesus says something that has been repeated so many times it has lost its weight. He warns against despising the little ones. And then he says, "I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven." Always. That word is not decorative. In the Greek, it denotes a continuous, unbroken state, not occasional access, but permanent proximity to the Father's face. The angels assigned to God's people are not stationed somewhere distant, waiting to be called in for emergencies. They are in continuous audience with the Father, which means they have continuous access to His will, His knowledge, His directives, His intentions. Your angel is not operating on old instructions that were downloaded once and never updated. It is operating in real-time communication with God, in a state of perpetual alignment with the one who knows every step of your path before you take it. This is why the spiritual dimension you live in is so much more active than you have been told. You move through your day in what feels like ordinary reality, navigating traffic and conversations and decisions and fatigue. And all the while there is an agent assigned to your life who is seeing the face of the Father, receiving information about the territory you are walking through, responding to threats and opportunities you cannot perceive. When you woke up this morning and felt an inexplicable sense of peace even though your circumstances had not changed. When you arrived somewhere and sensed something was not right before anything visible confirmed it. When a door closed in your face and you were devastated only to discover months later that what was behind that door would have destroyed you. You were experiencing the active engagement of an assignment that began before you were born. The protection is not random. The guidance is not coincidence. The closings and openings of doors in your life are not simply the product of luck or karma or the chaotic movement of the universe. They are the fingerprints of an ordered mission that Almighty God commissioned on your behalf in eternity. Now, there is something deeper here that most people miss entirely, and it has to do with the nature of the destiny your angel was assigned to protect and advance. Ephesians chapter 1 tells you that God chose you in Christ before the foundation of the world, that He predestined you for adoption as a son or daughter through Jesus Christ, according to the purpose of His will. This election, this predestination, is not a cold theological abstraction. It is a declaration that your existence was anticipated in God's eternal plans, that the arc of your life was already mapped in the mind of the one who sees the end from the beginning. And if your destiny was established before the world began, then the resources deployed to protect and advance that destiny were also established before the world began. Your angel was not a last-minute arrangement. It was part of the eternal architecture, built into the plan the same way your calling was built into the plan. Think about what this means for the moments when you have felt most alone. When you lay in a dark room and felt that the weight of your life was too much, that no one was watching, that the universe had gone silent and your prayers were bouncing off a ceiling that would not open. In those moments, the truth you are receiving right now is a weapon against that lie. You were never alone, not for a single second. The assignment around your life did not pause because you could not feel it. The angel commissioned before your birth did not go off duty because you entered a season of silence. The mission was established in eternity, and eternity does not take breaks. What you felt as absence was never absence. It was a battle in a dimension you could not see. The same kind of battle Daniel's messenger fought for 21 days before breaking through. Your breakthrough was never dependent on the silence lifting. It was dependent on the mission being completed. There is also a weight of responsibility in this truth that you cannot avoid once you have received it. If you were known before you were formed, if you were appointed before you were born, if an angelic mission was commissioned in eternity, specifically in connection with your life and your calling, then the question you have to sit with is not merely whether you believe in guardian angels. The question is whether you are living in alignment with the destiny that angel was sent to serve. Because here is what the scriptures make clear. The angelic assignment was not given to protect a comfortable life. It was not given to ensure that you would be financially stable or emotionally undisturbed. It was given in connection with a calling, a purpose, a prophetic appointment that God established for you before the world existed. Jeremiah's angel, if you will, was not deployed just to keep Jeremiah safe. It was deployed because Jeremiah was a prophet to the nations, and that mission mattered to God. Your angel is not deployed simply to keep you comfortable. It is deployed because your life matters to God's purposes in the earth, and those purposes are still unfolding. This is why Psalm 91 is not just a comfort passage. When it says He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways, the phrase "in all your ways" is the key. The Hebrew word for ways here is derek, and it refers not just to a path walked physically, but to a manner of life, a course of conduct, a direction of intentional movement. The angels are commanded to guard you in the derek of your calling, in the deliberate movement of a life oriented toward the purpose for which you were made. This is not a blanket promise of protection for any direction you choose to walk. It is a covenant promise of angelic guard over the life that is being lived in alignment with the divine commission. When you walk in your calling, when you step into the things God appointed for you before you were born, you are walking in the territory your angel was assigned to cover. And in that territory, the guard is active, the mission is engaged, and the face of the Father is being consulted on your behalf in real time. There is another dimension to this truth that goes even further, and it is found in a passage most people read quickly without registering the full weight of what is being said. In Genesis chapter 28, Jacob is fleeing from his brother Esau, alone and vulnerable in the desert night, sleeping on the hard ground with a stone for a pillow. And in that place of exile and exhaustion, he dreams. He sees a ladder set up on the earth, the top of it reaching to heaven, and the angels of God are ascending and descending on it. Most people focus on the ladder, but notice the direction of the angels. They are ascending and descending, which means some of them were already on the earth before they went up. They were already deployed in the physical realm. And at the top of that ladder stands God himself, speaking a covenant promise over Jacob's life and over his descendants. What Jacob was seeing was not just a beautiful vision. He was seeing the infrastructure of divine engagement with human history. The ladder is the active, continuous connection between the heavenly realm and the earthly realm, and the angels are the agents of that connection, moving between the purposes of God and the lives of the people he has called. When Jacob woke up, he said, "Surely God is in this place, and I did not know it." He was sleeping in a place saturated with divine activity and had no idea. You are living in one of those places right now. The activity is real whether you perceive it or not. You might be thinking right now about the suffering you have experienced, the losses that felt unguarded, the seasons where the protection seemed absent, the prayers that seemed to go unanswered for years. And this is where the truth has to cut deeper than comfort. Daniel's messenger was delayed for 21 days, but he was never diverted. The mission was never canceled. The answer was always coming. The battle in the invisible realm was not a sign that God had forgotten Daniel or that his angel had abandoned its post. It was a sign that the spiritual war around destinies is real, that the opposition to your calling is real, that the enemy of your soul has a vested interest in preventing the fulfillment of what God commissioned for your life. And the fact that you are still here, that you made it through the things that should have broken you, that you are listening to this right now, is itself a testimony to a mission that held even when you could not feel it holding. The angel assigned to you before your birth is still on assignment. The commission has not expired. The mission does not end until your purpose is fulfilled. And the one who issued the commission is the same one who said that what he has purposed, no one can thwart, and what his hand has stretched out, no one can turn back. That is from Isaiah chapter 14, and it is not a promise for a select few. It is a declaration about the nature of God's intentional purposes in history, and your life is inside that intention. The destiny your angel was commissioned to serve is not contingent on your perfection or your consistency or your ability to feel the spiritual reality around you. It is contingent on the faithfulness of the God who commissioned it, and that faithfulness has no end. The question that this truth leaves you with is not simply one of belief. It is a question of alignment and awareness. Are you living with the consciousness that your life was appointed in eternity, and that the resources of heaven were deployed in connection with that appointment? Are you praying with the understanding that your prayers, like Daniel's, trigger responses in the invisible realm? That the moment you set your heart to seek God and humble yourself, a mission is activated? Are you moving through the resistance and the delay and the silence with the settled knowledge that a messenger is fighting through to you, that the answer is already on its way, that the assignment around your life has never been paused? And are you taking seriously the possibility that the specific trials and resistances you are facing right now are not random afflictions, but are targeted opposition against the destiny that your angel was commissioned to protect. Because when you understand that, resistance stops feeling like abandonment and starts feeling like confirmation. The enemy does not deploy resources against a life that poses no threat to his territory. The intensity of the spiritual opposition in your life is, in a strange and sobering way, a testament to the weight of what God placed inside of you before you were born. Because the way you answer those questions determines whether you live as someone who merely believes in angels as a concept, or as someone who walks through this world knowing that the invisible dimension is alive around them, that the purposes of God are actively being worked out on their behalf, and that the destiny for which they were made before they were born is still being guarded by a commission that eternity itself authorized. And before we close, one more truth you need to carry with you. In Acts chapter 12, when Peter is imprisoned and the church is praying for his release, an angel appears in his cell, wakes him, and leads him out past 2 sets of guards and through an iron gate that opens by itself. Peter walks out free, and when he knocks on the door of the house where believers are gathered in prayer, the servant girl Rhoda runs to tell the others. They say, "You are out of your mind." When she insists, they say, "It must be his angel." That phrase is extraordinary. It tells you that the early church had a working theology of personal angelic assignment, so concrete, so accepted, that their immediate instinct when they heard a knock in the night was to consider whether it might be a person's angel acting on their behalf. They were not speculating about a distant, abstract idea. They were operating within a living framework of spiritual reality, where the angel assigned to a person could move, act, and appear in direct response to the prayers of a community gathered in agreement. Your prayers, and the prayers of those who stand with you, are not merely emotional acts of devotion. They are invocations of an assignment written into eternity, calls that echo into the heavenly realm and activate the mission of a being commissioned to your purpose since before the world began. If this opened something in you today, write in the comments the moment in your life where you most clearly saw what you now understand was angelic protection or guidance. I want to read your story, and if you want to keep going deeper into what the scriptures reveal about the kingdom you cannot see, but that operates all around you, the next video goes into territory that most churches have never touched. Hit the like button if this gave you something real to carry, and subscribe to this channel if you are serious about understanding the invisible architecture of your faith. Activate the notification bell so you do not miss what is coming next. This is only the beginning of what the Word reveals.